Hi there. My name's Andrew Wolf. I'm the co-founder and co-CEO of Bloomfilter, and today I want to show you the capabilities of the Bloomfilter platform. Bloomfilter is process intelligence for the software development lifecycle. That means we sit on top of your existing systems like Jira, GitHub, and Figma. We extract that data. We apply our process intelligence and our AI to stitch that data together. And then we show you where you have issues creating the outcomes that you want within your process, ultimately making you more observable, predictable, efficient, and nimble. When we do our demos, we like to start at the top, which is initiatives. These are what the board has asked the development team to accomplish in order to achieve key business outcomes. Here, you can see I have 3 initiatives. You can see 2 are on track and unknown. You can see the completion, business value, start date, end dates at a glance. I can then click in and start to understand at a detailed level what's happening in any given initiative. Here, I can see that I spent $71,000 to date, that I'm expecting this to create $1 million in business value. 83% of the time has elapsed, and I've completed 77% of the work. I can even come over to this graph and see how that graphed over time and a projection of when this work might be done, or maybe it'll never complete at all in the case of this initiative. I can dive deeper by going to see the flow of work and how the work might be building up in different statuses, when things were completed, when things were tested across my initiative. I can break it down to different core features and components of this initiative by date and even understand the difference between the tasks themselves and the estimation the team has given those tasks. Going even deeper, I could understand the features and where they were completed per month, where my team's focuses may be with regards to the work being done. And then finally, I can come down to the team level and understand how the teams may or may not be focusing on these key business objectives and how they've been focusing over months. And as always with our platform, you can dig deeper into the tasks themselves, down to the core unit of work to understand where my work has been going, the status, what epics they belong to, so on and so forth, to get a really deep understanding of where my work is going, how it's going, what my team might be working on, what my team might be struggling with. Once we have our initiatives, we need to report on those initiatives. Here we have our dashboarding feature. This allows you to add widgets to be able to report on the metrics that really matter to you. I can go and add any widget I want here, and I will. I'll create a QA test one, a metric, if I can type. And then I can select a board, maybe I care about. I'll select this one. I can select any metric. The core driver of this is we have a domain-specific language for calculations within the SDLC. We're able to create calculations in minutes for our customers to be able to report on. Here, because it's QA, I'm going to find my quality metric. I'm going to put this over the last 14 days. Next step. And then here I can create a line chart or a tile or a table or an area chart. This particular team doesn't have any data in the last 14 days. That's okay. But I can do a stack bar chart and I can create this widget and it renders here for me. And whenever I have data, it will appear. But this oftentimes gets reported in the language of development. We know that business runs on dollars. So we have our financials module, which allows you to understand the financials of any of your portfolios, an individual team over a date range. So here I can see my daily spend, my cost, and I can compare that to things like throughput and velocity. So I can understand where I'm investing my money and what I'm getting for that money. Here, I can break down by the metadata within our platform. I can select a component or an epic or a label or points and start to understand the true value of what my team is delivering. At any point in our application, AI is streamed throughout what we call Flora. I can ask Flora about this chart. It will analyze this chart and it will help me understand. Maybe I'm not as technical of a person, so I can click this and it will analyze this chart for me and tell me what is important about this chart. And finally, I can do cost by initiative. I can start to understand where I've invested my money towards key business outcomes and how that's going. We're going to start to debug our process. We're starting to look at our process map here. Here, and I'll close out Flora for you, I can start to understand how my work is flowing through my process. I can do this by team. I can even go down to the board level if I want to. I can start to understand the different task type pieces that flow through it. Here, I can select task type, but I can also understand this by percentage, by cycle time, how much time does it take between this, or even cost to really understand what's it costing me when something goes from backlog to done and the dates and times that it took to do that. We can go even deeper here and start to understand our process from an analysis perspective for each of my teams, boards, and work periods. So I can select any measure here and have it show up in this chart and compare them against each other to start getting deep and rich insight into the different levers I have within my software development process. I can understand capacity, and then I can also understand teams and portfolios from an initiative perspective. I can go to any one of these teams and understand each sprint by sprint, how it's going, but I can also compare sprints against each other. Again, using our powerful calculation engine, we're able to quickly spin up new calculations for our customers and understand what they care about with regards to their sprints and how they want to compare them. We also allow you to create targets. So I've created a target here that starts February 1st. If I go back to process analysis and I go to my BFK team and I go to velocity output, you can see that my target appears right there in my chart. So I can set targets and understand, are my teams hitting their targets? Are they doing what they set out to do? And if not, how can I help these teams get to work and understand their process? And finally, we have risk analysis, where you can look at tasks, initiatives, epics, and even pull requests to understand the inherent risks of what's happening here. I can click on these and understand the risk summary and the action plan to mitigate the risks on any one of these core objects in software development. And as always, Flora is here to ask any questions. What are my riskiest initiatives? And Flora will look into my data set and understand my initiatives and help me understand how I can mitigate those risks without having to be an expert in software development. Thank you and have a nice day. That's the Bloomfilter platform, rich in the functionality CTOs, CIOs, and product and engineering leaders require to get the job done. Thank you for watching this and have a nice day.